Vaishnava Aparad.
Yes.
So sometimes we take it very lightly, take it seriously about Vaishnava Aparad. So could you possibly explain what is the pitfall in committing Vaishnava Aparad and what can be the effects?
Can you tell us? I'd like to hear from you, my spiritual masters. God bless.
Yeah, it can be the greatest impediment in our chanting, Vaishnava Aparad. And it's compared to Hati Mata, is that the word? A mad elephant offense. Whatever spiritual progress we made, it can just be torn asunder. Like if a mad elephant goes in your garden, it'll just tear up everything. It doesn't care what it's tearing up. So we have to be careful, very careful to avoid any Vaishnava Aparad.
And Mahaprabhu says it should be Trinadapi Sunuchena.
Yes.
Sarodapi Sahishuna. Because when you feel lower than a blade of grass, or more tolerant than a tree, you think, I'm a good for nothing, never do well.
And ready to...
and then you're not going to offend anybody else, because you think, what am I to say to? I'm so positive.
And ready to give all respect to others. That's important.
You don't receive anything in return. That's okay. Don't expect anything.
Right. Sometimes we take it very lightly, even talking amongst each other, we'll say something about this person, or that person's like that, or this person's like that. It has an effect. It closes our heart.
Kali Yuga is terrible. I mean, even hear my friends talk about my other friend, and this gossips are starting, and it all false, and it's like bad things, bad false rumors, and it just carries on, and it just ruins people's life. It's just really bad things, and it's just like so likely just to make conversation, make some sensation, and it's terrible. You should be very careful. So another thing is that Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Javadharma says when the only remedy to eradicate all offenses, even Vaishnava Aparad, because there's no remedy for Vaishnava Aparad, except for begging forgiveness of the lotus feet of that Vaishnava. But he might not give you forgiveness,
and
he doesn't feel like
it also says that even if the Vaishnava forgives you, but the dust of his lotus feet might not forgive you.
Yes. Well, Vishwanath Thakur explains it, not that he doesn't forgive, but he may not take the offense. Like say somebody says something bad about you and you say, yes, it's true, actually, that's me. You're right, But Bhakti Devi, he doesn't tolerate. Krishna doesn't like when somebody offends his devotee. He is very sensitive about it, and he will retaliate.
Krishna never forgives.
We hope he doesn't. Otherwise, we're in trouble.
Yes.
So like when I was started to say in Javadharma, Bhakti Thakur says that the only remedy to become free from all offenses, even Vaishnava Aparad, is to constantly chant this Hare Krishna mantra, non-stop, 24 hours a day. And it's possible. When you have the desire, it's possible. Don't think it's not possible. Even in a dream, I experienced many times, in my dream, this tune is going in my head all night. When you chant all day long, and the night time also the mantras just keep going in your head. And you're taking prasadam, when you get real taste, not just be force ourselves or go for the program and we put our consciousness to it, for a couple hours. But when we have the proper association and the proper circumstances, they're very favorable. And these things are always available. There's an interesting statement by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He says that a person who thinks that on this particular time, on this particular planet, there is no Sadguru or a liberated spiritual master, a pure devotee available, he thinks like that, if he's not available, he is an atheist. Very heavy statement. So what does it really mean? That means he doesn't have faith in Krishna. Because if you have faith in Krishna, then you would understand that Krishna can arrange at any time when you are ready. You know, sometimes we blame, oh, this guru, this kind, blah, blah, blah. There's no pure devotee is available, there's no Sadguru available. The real thing is that we have to become Sat Shishya. Because when you become qualified, then Krishna is Antaryami, the super soul. You know, you will see in your heart, oh, he knows every detail about you. You will say, no, he's ready. I will send him my pure devotee. What does it mean he will send him? Antaryami, no. I said wrong. Antaryami is the external manifestation of the super soul. Paramatma is the internal. And when Krishna sees that you're ready for pure devotee association, then he will manifest himself in the form of that pure devotee. Because Krishna is Adi Guru, Balaram. And he will manifest himself. So it's really, we can't blame anybody but ourselves. You know, we can say, oh, they're all cheaters and Kanishtarikaras, Madhyamadikaras at most, and blah blah blah. You can go on criticizing everybody. And the pure devotee is like a swan. You know, he only takes milk. And those who talk garbage and negative, they're like the crows, you know, going on a garbage pile. You know, they take pleasure talking rubbish. You know, but the pure devotee is not interested in all that. You know. And then if you're real sincere, then Krishna will help you. God helps those who help themselves. So if you don't believe in that fact, then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says you're an atheist. He's right. Strong words, but it's true. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
So, like you mentioned, when we're chanting, we need to be really involved in it and all that, but our mind keeps flickering. So how do you bring it back to...
Bring it back?
I mean, to what form, you know, bring it back where?
Bring it back where?
Yeah, I mean, when you're saying bring it back, do we see ourselves the deity form of the God, or how?
Just think of Krishna. It's so beautiful. It's so wonderful. And when you're a woman, you're more affectionate than you man. So it's much easier for you than me.
Well, we are affectionate, so it goes on children.
So, first of all, you have to receive the holy name. And so you become serious about it. It's very good to understand this philosophy and how to get there. And Krishna recommends that you approach a spiritual master and surrender unto him and serve him. And then you will be, because this holy name has to be received through parampara. But Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya, he says that the holy name does not wait for initiation. So that's another fact, that you may be not initiated, still the holy name can give you everything. So due to circumstances, whatever happens, but like I said, when you should become real sincere and serious, then the holy name, who is Krishna, Nam and Nami, You know, this Nami means the possessor of Nam, possessor of the name. Like my name is Govinda, I am the possessor of the name Govinda. But Krishna is an absolute platform, so the name and the name himself are identical, both the same. So anyway, you have to associate with those who have no problem fixing their mind on the holy name, and then you will get to. It's a simple fact, you know. When you associate with drunkards, you become a drunkard. Associate with people who smoke cigarettes, you're going to smoke cigarettes. It's a good chance. So if you associate with like-minded people, you will become like them, and they will become like you. You know, so therefore, like I said in the beginning, this Panchangam, so bhakti, Mari Bhakti, one of them is associating with devotees. Bhakti Devi is independent, but he gives himself to the devotee, and the devotee can distribute the holy name freely. And devotees, they want to distribute the holy name like wildfire. You know, so there's every chance that we get it from them. But we have to really get their blessings and favor.
One more question. Chanting, what are your suggested rounds? Would probably take an hour or two, depending on how accurate you are on the process. What do you think of meditation, which could take lesser time, but you could go to that empty, that mindfulness or that oneness, if you're trained properly in the meditative process. So how do you compare chanting to the meditative process?
I recommend meditating on oneness. Oneness meaning
One with God.
Yeah.
It's nothing but during chanting also you're thinking of Krishna. During meditation also you can do the same. But this is without a deity form or without a name to it. So what is the, how do you, I've heard people say that with meditative process you can achieve that oneness. And in a way it is true because you calm yourself down with the procedure that they have given you. And with chanting it's more flickering because it's longer. So, and you may not be able to dedicate that much time either. So what do you think of that?
The understanding of Lord Chaitanya is the Chintya Veda Abheda Tattva, simultaneous oneness and difference. We understand that we are one with God, but we are different at the same time. We are one in quality, the Jiva, the Atma, the spiritual. Krishna's spiritual energy. But we understand that Krishna himself is a person. He is unlimited. And you are, and I am. We are all separate living entities. Krishna is a separate living entity. We are very small. He is unlimitedly great. Okay, so we simultaneously one with him in the sense that we belong to the same spiritual energy. At the same time, he is unlimitedly great, and we are very small. So it's just like the spark coming out of the fire, shoots out of the fire, and as soon as you come out of the fire, the spark loses the quality of heat and light. But as soon as we're back in the fire, we're so in one sense we are one with God, but we still maintain our individual identity. You should understand that. Okay, so I am not God, you're not God. I hope it's not a disappointment.
So, the conclusion is it's better to chant the name.
Krishna wants us, yeah, but conclusion is first you should understand that you're not God.
Yeah. And we're not saying we are God, but we are saying we want to experience the oneness with Him, which means adapt the qualities that God has, right? Like lose your egoism, have the best for others, never think of something worse that could happen to somebody, or things like that. So that is the quality of God. So all I'm saying is, you want to achieve that. We are all that.
We should,
We are
yes,
all
we should
God.
meditate on Krishna's good qualities.
Good qualities.
It's very good meditation. But the Kali Yuga Dharma, the Yuga Dharma, you understand Yuga Dharma? This is Kali Yuga right now. And the Dharma for this age, prescribed by the Shastra, is this chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Meditation was for Satya Yuga. Okay, they're living into the lifespan of 100,000 years. And what was that Muni? Vishwamitra? 60,000 years underwater meditating? You can't do that. Our so-called meditation is not the actual thing. Because we are not capable of doing any such thing. We don't have the mind. We don't have the lifespan. When somebody wants to achieve the goal of Astanga Yoga, this Patanjali yoga system, Eightfold Yoga system, there's so many prerequisites he has to follow before he even can start. One has to be a Naistika Brahmachari, never lost one drop of semen in his life, and so on and so on and so on. We are very fallen. So we are short-lived. What is it? What's the word? Short-lived, unfortunate, impatient, very slow in spiritual life, and above all, always disturbed. You know? So if the shoe fits you, then you should just take to the process of chanting Hare Krishna. Because by this chanting, we engage the tongue, jiva, jivado, the tongue, the mind, because we're meditating on the holy name, and we're meditating on Krishna's pastime, if you can. And we engage the sense of touch, with our fingers. So we engage our body, mind, and words in Krishna's holy name. It's a very, very sublime method. There's nothing better than this. So bring the mind back, try to get people close and get their association goes who are fixed, and soon you will become fixed too. So.
Prabhuji, extension of the same question I have, that when you say we should chant 16 rounds, do I consider my 16 rounds if I'm doing like 2 rounds at home and probably most of my rounds in my car while I'm on
Doesn't
my
matter where.
because then I don't consider my mind to be focused, because I'm more focused on driving probably, and it's just my tongue chanting and my lips chanting, and I'm just making my count go one after another, and makes me feel better before I go to bed. I don't, wow, I'm done with
Mechanical chant. Right?
Yes. But only 1 or 2
Inattentive
probably I do
chanting.
with the mala and try to say it loud and hear it and all that. So do I consider that 16, or do I consider my rounds to be 2 and then try to make it?
You have chanted 16 rounds, but you probably know what to do.
Right from the...
If you want to improve those 16 rounds.
Right.
So you have chanting 16 rounds. And if you know that your rounds, some of the rounds are inattentive, because Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Madhya Kadambini states that offenses, namaparad, arises from inattentive chanting. That is the root for inattentive chanting. So we should be very... I recommend you and all of you please come to Vrindavan. It's a very powerful atmosphere. There's Krishna Bala Mandir. It's chanting on 24 hours a day. And you just become inspired. Not just because of the 24-hour Kirtan department, but the deity Radha Shyam Sundar.
That happens in
Krishna
the temple
Balaram.
also when you're sitting in front of the deity.
Yes,
It's easier
yes.
to
You have,
focus and
you have Radha Madhava here, you have Viraj, Govardhan, and you have Gaurnitai. Take advantage. Yes, he says everything is here. Important thing about down Tattva though, that it is said whenever there's a tulsi plant, that place is considered Vrindavan. Wherever there's a temple of Radha Krishna, that place is considered Vrindavan. So why is there need for us to go to Vrindavan? Is there a need? Why? You read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu was Srimati Radharani, in the mood of Srimati Radharani, feeling separation from Krishna. This is Mera Mana Vrindavana. My mind is Vrindavan. Right? No doubt about it. His mind is Vrindavan. So whenever he was in Vrindavan, in full pastimes taking place in his mind, constantly going on, chanting the holy names, falling in the ground in ecstasy, exhibiting the highest symptoms, Krishna, prema. Niramana Vrindavana. My mind is Vrindavan. Still, when he set his foot on the land of Vrindavan, his ecstasy became 10 million times fold. Because that's the potency of the Dhamma. And Radha Madhava Hari is here, but it is said that Radha and Krishna, they never leave Vrindavan. They never take one step out of Braj. So they manifest in their expansions everywhere else. But the original Swayam Rup Bhagavan, Krishna, Radharani is Krishna. He's there. And when you go and see Radha Shyam Sundar, you understand. And you see Krishna Balaram, you understand. And Srila Prabhupada said that these temples that we have all over the world, the Radha Krishna deities, they are home away from home. What does it really mean? It means that when you want to go to, when I need to go to India, I have to go to the Indian embassy to get a visa. So when I go to New York to the Indian embassy, when I enter the building, I'm on Indian soil, right? I'm considered to be in India, officially, but really I'm an American. But at the same time, I'm in India. But when and then there's some flavor of India there. You see the people and the clerics and officials, they're Indians. And you see the Hindi writing and all these things. So many things remind you of India, and Indians are dealing with you. But when you go back to India, you feel that air, when you come out of the airport. And the noise, and the dust, and the people, and then you feel I'm home. So it's the same in Vrindavan. Radha and Krishna here, and yes, they're Radha and Krishna, but the real Radha and Krishna. Full Radha and Krishna are in Vrindavan. So we should all come to Vrindavan. Please. I said yesterday also, Srila Prabhupada instructed every devotee must go to Vrindavan once a year. The goal of your work